Hi again. So we were there at this part of regarding this place of the early humans, right? So we were talking about how people were using the tools, how did they chop wood, how did they use their hunting materials to weapons actually, sorry. How did they use their hunting materials, their weapons, how did they make them, what did they use? So the main thing they used was like stone. Okay, and these stone tools have survived the best. They haven't got spoiled. Like if they were wooden tools or they were wooden weapons, they have got mixed with the dust. They have become equal with the earth. They have got destroyed, and they have diminished and all like that. But stones have survived. So archaeologists have got information from the stones. So some of these stone tools were used to cut meat, bone scraped from the trees, okay, and hides of animal skins. Like when you see this goat meat in the market, how do they skin they take off the skin, they scrape it off. So chop fruits, cut roots from underneath the plants. Some may have attached handles to it, okay, to use it in a more better way, so they get that fulcrum. In physics you must have learned the fulcrum, they get the force to use it much better. And handles of bone they have used, or they have made of wood. Then they have made spears, arrows for hunting. Other tools were used to chop wood, which was used as firewood. They needed fire. Wood was also used to make huts and tools. Okay, so this was like this which was happening. Now choosing a place to live in. How did they choose their places to live in? From all the sites what archaeologists have found evidence of hunters, gatherers, lived in many places else also. Only some are shown in the maps which I'm going to share with you, which are some are shown which are not shown, which people did not come to know, or we were not able to put it down in the map. As stone tools were important, people tried to find places where good quality stone was easily available. Now I'm going to stay in a place where there is availability of everything, where I'm going to get all stuff. Like if I am staying in Muzaffarpur, I like to stay inside the city place or next to Mithinpura area, where I have big bazaar, I have a movie hall, I have a market, I have a medical store, I have fast food outside, I can go out and eat, I can go and play somewhere, I can meet people, banks are there, ATMs are there, hospitals are there. So all the things are available. So I'll choose to stay in a place there. But at that time all this stuff was not there. So they used stones mainly. So they wanted to stay next to the stones which were easily available, where good quality stones were there. All stones are not good. Some stones break also while working, isn't it? So many of the caves largely which were found out in India are examples of Madhya Pradesh. If I am not mistaken, yes, it's Madhya Pradesh, southern Uttar Pradesh, and wild animals are also were more there, and we have all our mostly forest reserves in those areas. Okay, are the places like the sites, the places which the archaeologists have found out the sites, and they have tried to give it out into history. They have found tools, they have found pots, they have found buildings. So after they found all these things, they tried to calculate and give us all the information. Now all these things were not on top of the earth. They had to dig, they had to find out. It was all buried under the earth. It was so many thousand years ago. So now they are doing it, but still people come to get to know information. There are still excavations going on. Archaeologists are going around. Their job is to pull out history. Like then the main thing was, how did we come to know about the fire issue? How did people light fires? Because lots traces of ashes were found. After we burn fire, the ash is left. So the ashes have been found. So that suggests that people were familiar with using fire. If there is ash, without fire there can't be any ash. So like fire could have been used for many things, like to light a fire, to keep yourself warm, to roast meat, isn't it, to cook that meat. And also fire varies of means scares of animals, they don't come close to you, they won't attack you. Okay, so it was like this. Like few archaeologists have also given lengthy names that we are studying. They are called earliest period, like it's called the Paleolithic, isn't it? It's called the Paleolithic period, which is called the earliest period. It's a long name. This comes from two Greek words, which is called paleo, meaning old, and lithos means stone. Paleolithic means the stone age, when people were using stone, but we can call it a stone age as well. The name, the points are importance of the importance of the stone tools which they found during that time. The Paleolithic period extends from 2 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago. The long stretch time in this time is divided into lower, middle and upper Paleolithic period. This long span of time covers 99% of human history. Paleolithic has got a lower part, a middle part and the upper Paleolithic age. The Stone Age has got 3 parts. So during these 3 parts, 99% we have come to know about. This time span has given us at least 99% information about this human history, or about us, if we can say. We are also human, so what happened before us, we come to know. The period when we find environmental change, how the environment changed, beginning about 12,000 years ago, and 10,000 years ago is called the Mesolithic age, the Middle Stone Age. Okay, stone tools found during this period are generally tiny, small, and are called microliths. Now, microliths were probably stuck to handles or bone wood to make tools such as saws and sickles. So now saws and sickles, the one which you cut grass, those people you see the Aya auntie in the school cutting grass with that half C sickle, isn't it? So that's called a sickle. So when a sickle came into thing in the middle history, that is the Mesolithic time of prehistoric human information. That means the saw had come in, which we cut wood. The carpenter cut woods with the saw and they cut grass with the sickle. That means it advanced, isn't it? So they had much more better handles, the design had changed, they were using something much more better. So this is the changes which started taking place. Okay. At the same time, older varieties of tools continued to be in use, but the old system also still carried out. Like we still carry out the sickle issue. We are still cutting with the sickle, isn't it? So still we are using some old methods. The next stage from about 10,000 years ago is known as the Neolithic age. Now what do you think the term Neolithic means? We have also mentioned some name in the places. You will find names of more places in the later chapters. Very often we come to know, and we know what we have to call them. So now what did we have? We have the Paleolithic. In the Paleolithic we have 3 parts, the lower, middle and upper, out of which the lower part is all about stones, and then we come to the middle age where we have the sickle and the saw, and then we'll read about the Neolithic. But we won't go at one shot with so many things, so we'll stay only till the first part, the stone part. You first try to get hold of the stone part, try to understand. Let me put in some more information for you. I'll put up some notes for you. If I get a PDF, I'll obviously put up a PDF for you, so that it's going to help you and you can go through it. Okay, and I have already got a PDF, so you don't have to worry. A PDF is already there ready for you, which is going to be sent. I'll send it to you, so you don't have to worry. So I'll keep it till there, and I'm going to send in you notes, so that is going to be helpful for you and you can study and go through your book as well. Make your notes, see your difficult words and your spellings, check, read, and I'll make another video for you also regarding how to study, make it easier for you. Okay, I'll share some tips, like because there is a lot of pressure right now, as I told you, you're not able to go out anywhere, you're not able to do anything, so you need to stay at home and relax and do your work as well, everything together. So it's going to take time, but it's already 3 weeks now of our classes going on, and I'm trying my level best in whatever I can do to share all the information I can with you, so that it's helpful to you. And guys, please do be in touch with your books. It doesn't have to be 10 hours, 15 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Just be in touch every day. Make it a routine. That discipline, don't break that discipline. Okay, so after your studies, see where you're facing problems, and again type in information for me. If you need anything, need any help, put it on that Hertford group, on our school group, and I am 24/7 there for you. Don't have to worry, your Ronen sir is there, and I am very much here, and so I am in Muzaffarpur, so don't worry, I am there, I am going to help you out. And rest after your studies, do whatever you want and enjoy your life, and learn, and those writings as well, okay, and all your homeworks, make your notes and put it into copies. When the school opens, I'm going to check, and then I'm going to catch you. So have fun till then, and see you guys in the next class. Bye bye, take care, be safe, stay at home, and enjoy life, eat good, learn something new. Try to help your parents, try to help your mom in doing house chores, housework, and getting things ready, get your own things ready. Try to learn to do something. There's new learning is every day a very new thing, so you all know to learn. You'll come to learn, you'll teach new things. You can teach me also a few things what you have learned. Okay guys, see you, best of luck, see you in the next class. God bless.